Video with number five being Stefon Diggs, man. Number five this year. Last year he was number two. He did definitely did drop three spots, and it's not really because of him being poorly of a performance. It's just the fact that we have just had better numbers from other receivers that just deserve to be a little bit higher than him, but it does not diminish his impact. His numbers might decrease because of where he's at now. I know he got I believe it was traded. I believe it was traded, but went to the Houston Texans, man. Just another weapon for the CJ Stroud man to go ahead and dominate with. Having him, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, even signing Joe Mixon, and that's huge. It's just, yeah, it just shows Houston's ability of trying to go all in and trying to win a Super Bowl. They really are looking to do that. And I mean, having a Stefon Diggs it's a huge thing. I think that's going to help him tremendously. Um, yeah, Stefon Diggs, 30 years old, 9 years in the league. 30 years old, sorry, 9 years in the league. Um, 1 year, $22.52 million left on the deal, so it is like a 1 year thing. If Houston does have the money, definitely I could see them signing him back up, especially with his impact. 17 games played, 107 receptions, 1,183 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns, 2 fumbles, 1 lost. He played in 2 games in the playoffs against the Steelers and the Chiefs. He had 10 receptions for 73 yards, 1 fumble. He did make a Pro Bowl though. It is kind of weird to see him not in a Buffalo uniform. Um, I thought maybe he could try it one more time. I believe the Bills just, I guess they know what they're doing and let him get traded to Houston. Like I said, we'll see what happens. I definitely do believe his impact though will be enormous for this team, and they can definitely make a deep playoff run this year. So number four, CeeDee Lamb. At number four, he just skyrockets his way from honorable mention to a number four. This is a guy that honestly I contemplated going to top 10 last year. I just wanted to see more what he would be able to do, and I mean he did just that. He was a crazy amount of um, crazy stats this year and a crazy amount of just crazy plays that he was able to do. Great receiver. I think he has the intangible of just being the best receiver um, in terms of, will he catch a Justin Jefferson? That's definitely debatable there. But I mean, he's going to be like a 1A, 1B situation. I definitely think his potential is super high. He definitely can take over games. He will take over games. And I feel like, uh, it's almost like you need to double team this guy. He's just a magnet for catching the ball, and he's a magnet for the end zone. So overall, though, CeeDee, 25 years old, 4 years in the league, 1 year, $17.99 million. So will the Dallas Cowboys sign him again, or is this going to be he's going to go to free agency and he's going to make a lot of money in the other team? They need a receiver one. I mean, CeeDee is that guy. Um, 70 games he played, 135 receptions for 1,749 receiving yards, insane, with 12 touchdowns, 3 fumbles, 2 lost. He even had 14 carries for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns, which is insane. Um, versus Green Bay, 9 receptions for 110 yards, no tutties at all. He was third in the Offensive Player of the Year voting. He was a Pro Bowler and he was first team All Pro. So again, he had a magical, great season. Definitely a guy that's going to stay in the rankings, and I do believe that he can climb up to number two, honestly. But yeah, he's a great player to watch, entertaining, and Dallas should be happy to have him. Hopefully, resign him. Okay, number three, we go to Davante Adams, who is three, staying at three from last year. He's just been that receiver, dude, that can just adapt to any QB, and playing in Las Vegas where they really don't even know who the QB is at times, or the QB getting injured, man. The adaptability of him to even still perform at a high level is pretty remarkable, and it definitely needs to be acknowledged. I mean, and this guy is that guy that can do so many great things, and he has. Um, definitely, definitely a player that is still lighting it up, I think, with stat wise. And I want to see what he does this year, man. I hope he can still perform at a high level. And, I do feel bad that he is an organization that, is just not ready to compete. But Davante Adams keeps showing it day in and day out. 31 years old, 10 years in the league, 3 years, $90 million on the contract, 17 games played, 103 receptions for 1,144 yards and 8 touchdowns. No playoffs or nothing, no accolades, but he's still a very, very well known guy. And, with age, we'll see. Right now, he's still a top three receiver in the league. Definitely hasn't shown any signs of slowing down and still reliable, definitely, for this team. Number two, we got a guy that jumped from number four to number two. It's Tyreek Hill. It's the cheetah. Just basically almost unguardable. Um, Yeah, I mean it's really hard to see how to really have a specific defensive coverage and a corner that's fast enough to keep up with this guy. Um, Fantastic at yards after the catch, and I mean, like I said, not the biggest guy, man, but yeah, he's underrated route runner. Definitely receiving yard monster, and definitely where he goes, that's where the Miami Dolphins go. So two is definitely very happy to have him. Definitely. I feel like a lot more than Jalen Waddle as of right now because Jalen Waddle is developing. Tyreek has just been there. He's done that, and yeah, it's really nice to see him being a top two receiver for now. While he's, I feel like in his prime right now. But yeah, Tyreek right now, 30 years old, 8 years in the league. He's got 3 years, $87.69 million on the deal. 16 games that he's played, 119 receptions for 1,799 yards, 13 touchdowns, one fumble, one lost. Against the Chiefs in the wild card, he had 5 receptions for 62 yards and a touchdown. He was sixth in MVP voting, second in Offensive Player of the Year voting, and Pro Bowler as well as a first team All Pro. Again, you look at the stats; they're ridiculous. Touchdown machine, and yeah, just it's wild, wild to see him play. Um, yeah, definitely deserving of being in this part of the countdown. Definitely. And number one, I think without question, is Justin Jefferson again. He stays at number one after being number one last year. Yeah, he had injuries that obviously derailed his season. Definitely would have had the same amount of numbers he has produced. At this rate, what he's been able to do, man, is just quietly become possibly one of the greatest receivers of all time. If he continues to do what he does, I mean, I really do believe he can be the greatest receiver of all time and pass to Jerry Rice, just based on the impact that he has as a player, as a receiver. I mean, like I said, he is. Tyreek is unguardable. Uh, CeeDee can be unguardable. Justin Jefferson is like unguardable. I feel like all the time, and he gets the ball in his hands almost all the time. And for a guy that before when he didn't even have Jordan Addison, still making that impact. You know, still he's got the frame for it at 6'4". He's got the speed. He's got the route running. Um, he's got the hands. I mean, yeah, just everything overall, dude. He's a freak of nature. Definitely hope that he can stay healthy and have a full season onto it. But yeah, Justin Jefferson, as of now, 25 years old, 4 years in the league. He signed a 4-year, $140 million extension with the Vikings this past year. Played 10 games, 68 receptions, 1,074 yards, and 5 touchdowns with one fumble, one lost. For a guy that played only 10 games and still get 1,000 receiving yards is insane. And again, I mean, he is the craziest football player that I've been able to see the past few years for him. So I'm excited to see what he does this year. I hope he stays healthy and Um, JJ McCarthy is in a fantastic place to be, especially if who you're trying to throw to is Justin Jefferson or Jordan Addison. Like you're gonna have a great rookie year. But Justin Jefferson is gonna do it. He's gonna do it every single year. And if the best quarterback he's ever played with right now is Kirk Cousins, I mean he has the ability of doing something special in his career.